My name is Adana, and I am a 62-year-old woman living in the vibrant city of Lagos, Nigeria. My life has been filled with the bustling sounds of family and the whispers of old traditions, but I hold within me a special spark that makes me unique. I am a grandmother, a keeper of stories, and a lover of sweet delicacies that connect me to my culture. There is a certain magic in preparing meals that remind my family of home, meals infused with love and laughter. But life can throw challenges our way, and sometimes those challenges come from the people we care about the most. One sunny Sunday morning, my grandchildren and I were coming back from church, excitement bubbling between us as we recounted the day's lessons. The air was warm with the aroma of freshly baked bread from a nearby vendor, and the streets were busy with life. But beneath that cheerful facade, trouble was brewing within my own household. My husband, whom I lovingly refer to as my granddad, had neglected a simple promise. 2 weeks ago, I had asked him to refill the fuel tank of the car. Simple enough, one would think. But here we were, stranded on the side of the road, the car sputtering and refusing to move, a direct consequence of his procrastination. As I sat in the passenger seat, a mix of anger and frustration bubbled inside me. "Get out and push," I ordered. I know this might sound harsh, but sometimes a little tough love is necessary. So, with a heavy heart and even heavier feet, he climbed out of the car and began to push us to the nearest filling station, which, to his dismay, was a good 5-minute walk away. I could not help but chuckle at the sight. There he was, my granddad, grumbling under his breath, muscles straining as he pushed our old car. He was strong and stubborn, but I was even more determined to teach him a lesson that day. When we finally reached the filling station, he used his own money to pay for the fuel despite me having given him money just for this purpose, which he must have squandered on his friends. I could not shake the feeling of victory as we drove back home. However, my granddad's expectations of a warm meal also hovered over me like a dark cloud. He had planned a delightful feast to reward himself for his daily struggles, but little did he know that I had other ideas. Once home, I wore my innocence like a mask. My husband waltzed in expecting a meal worthy of a king, but instead I feigned exhaustion. "I am too tired to cook," I said, trying to maintain a straight face. "You can eat cereal." The way his face fell was priceless. He looked at me, disbelief etched into his features as he slowly processed my words. I offered my grandchildren chocolate digestive biscuits, an incentive that made them giggle with delight, while he was left with his bowl of cold cereal. By the time evening rolled around, I had gone to the kitchen and prepared a grand meal of semolina and bajiri. The aroma wafted through the house, tantalizing my senses and silencing my inner struggle of pettiness and righteousness. I prepared a lavish meal on purpose, chuckling silently as I created a feast that could easily feed a small army. Then, as I dished out a mountain of food on his plate, he looked at the overflowing portion and protested. "I will not be able to finish this," he complained, and with that I saw my opportunity. I strolled to the kitchen, scooped half of his meal onto my own plate, and went upstairs, leaving him alone with mere scraps. With the glimmer of satisfaction radiating from my heart, I could hardly wait to see how he would react. Not surprisingly, he ended up sleeping on the couch that night. It had become a pattern in our relationship. When he thought he had been wronged, he would retreat to the couch, away from our marriage bed, thinking it would punish me. Little did he know that I slept soundly, feeling victorious. It was almost comical how predictable he was. As I closed my eyes that night, I felt a sense of peace wash over me, knowing that from that day forth, he would think twice about neglecting his promises again. Even though life continued on in its usual chaotic manner, that Sunday strengthened the bond between us in ways he would never fully understand. We had our ups and downs, and every shared meal told its own story of love and occasional mischief. Years later, even after life had taken my beloved husband away, I often reflected on that day. It was a testament to our life together, a reminder that love could be both sweet and savory, laced with a hint of playful revenge. As I sit here now, reminiscing about those moments, I cannot help but smile. Our lives were filled with challenges, laughter, and love, and even though I miss him dearly, that Sunday morning will live on in my heart. My sweet granddad taught me about patience and the importance of seeing two sides to every story. Though he is gone, the legacy of our sweet, petty battles remains woven into the fabric of our family.